Welcome back everyone. Quickly, let's continue our discussion on CSS fonts, and right now we'll be discussing about how to use combination of percent and EM together and form something nice. The solution that works in all browsers is to set a default font size in percent for the body element, which is the parent element. Then our code now works great and it's going to show the same text size in all browsers and allows all browsers to zoom in and out or resize the text easily. So I'm going to show you how all this works, because all this grammar you may not understand it easily. Back to our code. This is what we're having. This is our font. This is the text we want to control right here. So we want to control this text right here, and in our previous tutorial we have this. I'm going to remove this because we don't need it right now, so we are going to use it later. So let's say by default all the text, all your paragraph text is 16 pixels. How can you detect that? Then we can detect that by detecting this p element size, the font size of the p element. Let's take our p element now. Let's give it font size property. After that, let's give it 16 pixels. Now we give it 16 pixels and reload our document. If we notice any changes right here, definitely it's not 16 pixels by default. But if we didn't notice any changes here, definitely it's 16 pixels by default. Now let's reload. Can you see? No any changes at all. So let me remove it and keep it back again. When I remove it, now let's reload. Can you see? No, when I reload, no any changes. And when I bring it back, when I reload, can you see? No any changes. So that's definitely our paragraph text is 16 pixels by default. Definitely, even know where we write something, like let's say like this place now, if we write inside our body element right here, if we mistakenly write hello here, definitely it's going to is that hello there is 16 pixels. When we reload, can you see? This is hello, right? How can we know it's 16 pixels? Then let's target our body element. When we target our body element and leave this font size at 16 pixels, if it increases or decreases, definitely it's not 16 pixels. Let's reload. Can you see? When we reload, nothing affects it. Definitely it is 16 pixels. But how can we know other element that is not 16 pixels? Like this h2 tag. Now when I write h2 tag right here, I just write d like some this there. When I reload my document, can you see this d right here is like this, right? But let's say for instance now, and I come here, I select h2 tag and I use font size of font size of 16 pixel. When I use font size of 16 pixel and reload my document, if it changes the size, definitely it's not 16 by default. Can you see? Definitely this h2 tag is not 16 by default. That's what I want you guys to notice. So you can also practice this by yourself also, so you can understand that. That is how I got to know that 16 pixel is whatever you write inside this body element by default, and also the 16 pixel is whatever you write inside of your p tag by default. So all this default value right here also controlled by this 100%. Definitely when you are specifying 100% right here, definitely you are also saying that 16 pixel by default, no matter what, it's never going to increase your element. It's never going to increase the size of your element. Let's reload our document. Can you see? It's never going to increase it at all. Even when you use one rem, this one em, sorry, when you use one em also, the same thing. Can you see? When I reload, it's never going to change your document, even when you use 16 pixel also. So that's the main thing. So that's why we want to use 100%. Now when we use 100% also, when we reload, can you see? No any problem with our document again. And when you use pixel, when we use 16 pixel, it's also the same thing. When I reload, can you see? So definitely you should know that that 100% also is telling us that we are on 16 pixel as font size. So now let's give this 100% just to do what we are here for. So after that, we want to select our let me delete this one so our document can look nice. Come down here. I will select our p element right here. As I'm selecting this p element, right here, I'm giving it a value immediately. Though this p element, now I'm now going to give it font size. Don't you forget our default size right here, because this p element is inheriting before we give it any font size right here, it's already inheriting from this parent element here, because the p element is also among the elements inside this body element. So as you can see, the p element is inside here. As you can see, it's inside this p. As you can see, this p element is also among the elements inside the body element. Also, all those elements, they are inheriting font from this body element also. But by default, the p element itself is having 16 pixels by default. So now I want to use 1em. When I use 1em, I reload my document. When I reload my document, as you can see, no changes to our document. So when I now say I want to decrease this thing, I can give it 0.5. Well, 0.5 em. When I give it 0.5 em, definitely I'm saying like you put this in maybe 8 pixels. Let me bring out my calculator and do something. Let's say 0.5 times what? Times 16. Times 16, that is what? That is 8 pixels. Definitely when you give this thing 8 pixels, the same thing also works. So as you can see, when I reload, no any problem with our document. And when I bring it back to 0.5 em, when I reload, can you see no any problem? So you can use em instead of using the px. You can use the em instead of using the px. So as you can see, it is working along with this body element easily. But the funnest part is that when you use 50% here, definitely this thing also is going to take 60%. It's going to take what? 16% out of this. It's going to take 60 pixels out of this 50. So I'm going to show you how this works now. Let's reload. Can you see when I reload, everything in my document even controlled? So you should be aware of that. You can try this thing so you can be able to understand what I'm trying to do right here. If you try it, you are going to get the point, the main points right here. So definitely you should know when I increase it, definitely all these things, they are going to work along. So no matter what, let's give it 2 pieces, let's give it 1 piece, 1 em now. You are going to see it's going to increase. Can you see? So they are also working along with this parent element, which is the body element. So you guys have to be aware of that. So I have to stop right here because it may get confused. If you don't know what I'm talking about easily, you may get confused. Please, I don't want you to get confused. So in case if there is anything you don't understand in this video, you can watch our previous tutorial on CSS fonts. As you can see, this is the playlist. I'm still on the playlist, I haven't done yet. So you guys can check it to understand some things about this. And what akorede ayofe is my name once again. I wish to see you guys next time to the next tutorial. Peace and love. Have a great day. Bye.